Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast. You have your host once again, Xavier. I'm joined by Danny.
How's it going?
Anthony.
Very smoky.
And the young kid, Zach.
What's up, guys?
And so today, we're going to be flying at you with a great take, because these two guys, young kids next to me, finally saw Top Gun for the first time.
Yes, I did.
Shut up, Anthony. First time.
I'm not young anymore.
First time 3 times. But we're going to get their takes on what is basically an 80s classic starring Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer. But first, we want to get through some of our recently watched. That way you guys can have some buffer before Memorial Day weekend, where we have a lot of releases coming out. Let's start off with Zach. What'd you get to see over the weekend besides Top Gun?
Top Gun.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nice.
All right.
That's really the only. I mean, I don't know.
America.
I can't remember anything else that I watched, but yeah, I think just Top Gun this week.
All right. We'll get your thoughts on that later on.
Yes.
Danny, how about you?
So actually, other than Top Gun, yesterday I was hanging out with Xavier and Anthony, and we saw Ip Man.
Ip Man.
Ip Man.
Or Yip Man. Like, there's sometimes they spell it with a Y in front of it, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The Donnie Yen movie. We didn't watch The Grandmaster.
Which
We
there's
watched-
4 of.
Yes.
But we only saw the first one, and man, what a movie!
Right? It's goated. It's one of the best martial arts movies.
Zach, you need to see it too. It was.
Because I know that there was an IP Man that came out a few years ago. Like I
A
guess
what?
I just say IP Man. I don't care.
He controls your
I don't
IP
care.
address.
I don't care. IP Man, Ip Man.
Is it because I and P are capitalized?
Pretty much. I
Hey,
mean, because
I'm not gonna lie. I
was-
thought
All
that
the
too.
letters are
The very
capitalized.
the very first time I saw that, I was like, "What is IP?" I'm like, "Oh, it's probably his name." I was like, "Okay." So I see where you're coming from.
I see where you're coming from.
Right.
Okay.
IRC.
But there's this one scene, the IP Man fighting 10 guys, and wow, that action in this movie was crazy. I was looking at Xavier and Anthony the whole time, like, is this happening?
Yeah.
Yes,
It
it's
is-
happening.
That is one of the most iconic scenes in any martial arts film. Is this Donnie Yen wailing on these guys?
And the sound effects and like the punching and slapping and kicking sounds were top notch.
Yeah, dude. A lot of those like really great martial arts films or films that have great action, you have to do a lot of sound mixing too, and the sound editing has to be on point, because if you have like, you know, a hit and then there's like a weak sound behind it, like that's gonna take you out of the whole fight scene, and you're just like, what the hell is that? Looking at you, Mile 22 or whatever that movie was with Mark Wahlberg and Iko Uwais, man. Okay, I can rail about that, how not to make an action movie with good martial arts. And it's a Peter Berg movie, so he should know better. Yeah. Anyway, point is, you got to see what great looks like.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Ip Man, watch it. They're all on Netflix for the time being.
Yep, all 4.
All 4 of them. And Anthony told Danny this, but they get progressively a little more ridiculous and
Like,
you know,
hokey, like not in a good way.
like, yeah, a little loosey-goosey with the truth, but also like, yeah, really hokey and cheesy, but it's still they're still very entertaining, and they're well made, at least.
The first one seemed to have a very solid story.
Yeah, the
like
story was
emotional and very action heavy,
Mhm.
and I enjoyed it.
I would say part 2 follows that a little bit to
Yeah.
its effect. Like, there's still some
1
of
and
that.
2 are solid.
Mhm.
2, you could start seeing like, okay, some of the scenes it's a little bit more wire fu, but then like once you get to 3, like, okay, this is getting into. I mean, Mike Tyson's. In it.
Yeah, but to be fair, the Mike Tyson sequence with when he's punching the windows, that's kind of cool. Like,
yeah,
that was pretty cool.
It was a well choreographed fight scene, but you could tell that it wasn't as well done as like the first movie.
All
and,
right.
I don't know if it was due to him or due to time constraints or budget or whatever, anything, or maybe different stunt coordinators. But yeah, you just tell it's like it's still pretty good, but not as good as the first one. But yeah, you can YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube channels where you could type in best fight scenes in movies, and I'm sure you'll see that 10-man fight scene in there. because that's usually part of the top 10 or top 15 fight scenes in movies. So.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's
So
great.
good. Yeah, and then that's where you get the rapid punching of the Wing Chun that gets emulated in other media, even whether it's TV shows, movies, even video games. Like the most recent Mortal Kombat, Kung Lao fights with a lot of that Wing Chun, and one of his grabs is just like with the rapid, or grabs, or one of his moves just ends with the rapid punching. It's pretty dope. Yeah, man. I'm glad you really enjoyed that because it's top notch.
Yep.
Yeah,
Zach,
because
watch it.
I know you were kind of like on a Jackie Chan kick a couple weeks ago. So pretty much like a lot of the big martial arts names would be like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and Donnie Yen is definitely part of that list.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of his better showcase movies. But he has plenty of movies just like Jackie Chan where he has some badass fight scenes. So
It's true. He's also badass in Rogue One.
True.
yeah.
Yeah, he does some cool stuff.
Like he was in Shanghai Nights with Jackie Chan, but that was more of an American movie. So some of the scenes were cool, but you could tell it's not
That's right,
to
he's
the
in
level.
Nights.
Yeah, it's not to the level of their Chinese made movies. So
Shanghai Noon's also fun too.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I want to go to Carson City. So
uno mas.
no mas, John. So I'll go next. I got stuck waiting for a delayed flight in Phoenix, getting back to Miami. So I decided to hop on the airport's Wi-Fi and watch some movies. Very quickly, I'll just give you a rundown of what I watched. I watched Demolition Man again. I got to
Nice.
find it on Hulu. That's a treat. I love that movie. It's basically a cult classic. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. That's where it's also a fun showcase of Wesley Snipes, who has a martial arts background. So a lot of his fight scenes are pretty legit. Like he's just whooping on people and cracking jokes because he's Simon Phoenix. Simon
name.
says die. Yeah, Simon says bleed. And then you have Sylvester Stallone, kind of like it's like a poking fun at like the standard action tropes, especially when he wakes up in the future and he deals with this real like sanitized society. And I love the Taco Bell sequence of how they bring up Taco Bell. I won't spoil it for you two, but the reason why they go to Taco Bell is hilarious. Just watch the movie. It's great. It's actually not long too, so you can watch it. I finished it and took a little nap. And then on the plane flying back, Delta, shout out to Delta Airlines, they actually have a pretty solid selection of movies. And so I figured, well, I'm in kind of a mood. And I found Drive, again, starring Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
Nice.
And I forgot that Oscar Isaac's in that movie, Bryan Cranston, Albert Brooks. What's this guy's name? Hellboy. Ron Perlman. Like, yeah, movie's great.
Christina
It's very
Hendricks.
moody. Christina Hendricks in it for a little bit. What's her name? This girl, Carey Mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, yeah, it's funny to see that a lot of people base their personalities off of the main character, played by Ryan Gosling. But to be fair, his jacket is hella boss. That white scorpion jacket. His car is cool. He's just a cool guy. But, like, yeah, a lot of people are just like, I'm going to mold my entire personality off of this guy, which may or may not
Why?
be a great
Who
thing.
says that?
A lot of folks. Also, I think
That's
it's the
strange.
soundtrack. They love Kavinsky and that other song that plays at the end of the movie, and like somewhere in the middle. But got to watch that again because I was in the mood randomly. I was like, oh, that's cool. They have that, and those were my main two. That and I rewatched Hot Fuzz again because that movie's just amazing.
Too good.
It's too good. All right, Anthony, close us out. What did you get to watching?
So aside from what Danny said, that we watched Ip Man.
Oh yeah, and I saw it.
And we watched a few episodes of Arcane
Also
to
great.
get him into it
Yep.
because it's a really good show.
Yeah, I'm too mad. I'm always mad that show is good because I don't like League of Legends in terms of the toxicity of the player base. However, the IP is really strong and
Very
the
good
show's
show.
very, very good.
Yeah. And I ended up watching Doctor Strange 2 again.
Nice.
Nice.
So I think I liked it a little bit better the second time because actually some of the minor gripes I had when we talked about it last week, I guess I imagined some of them. so like I think I mentioned something about kind of like a weird editing thing with
Professor X.
spoilers, Professor X.
Me.
Oh, where he disappears.
He did it
and
with-
then-
Yeah,
With me.
I could have sworn I saw one scene where he was there, and then he wasn't there, and then he was there again, and I guess it wasn't really there. So that didn't happen. So I don't know, my eyes were playing tricks on me, but also
Rockwell.
again, spoilers again because I'm gonna mention something. So in the scene where the Illuminati gets rocked,
Riggedy rocked.
yeah, the one death that I thought was kind of hokey was the one against Captain Marvel. Watching it again, and I think I don't think either of you noticed it either, and that means it just wasn't conveyed very well. So I watched it again. There was a point where, out of all of them, Captain Marvel seemed to be, doing the most against Wanda. And there was one point where they both did like a Kamehameha to each other, and it was like a big blast. And then while both of them were doing their blast, it seemed like the aura that Captain Marvel kind of has when she like powers up, kind of goes Super Saiyan, it was kind of going away. And then it showed like her mask coming off, and it kind of exposed that, okay, is it Maria Rambeau?
Yeah.
Maria Rambeau was just face instead of like her mask and her power. After, the explosion, they both kind of flew away. So it kind of was like, oh, that blast powered her down. I guess that's what it showed for like a
that
couple
aura
seconds.
faded down.
It faded down, but I mean, so at that moment she lands and falls on the floor. I guess she's powered down, so she's like human again. And then that's
weak.
when the
She's
statue.
depowered.
Yeah, but that's when the statue falls on her, and then I guess it's alluded that she also died, but maybe she didn't. Because I mean,
Nah, hand.
I don't know why her hand didn't break through the rubble like
She did.
like
the
Super Shredder or anything in Evil
Because she
Dead.
did.
But
Spoiler, sorry.
But also like in Captain Marvel, like Brie Larson, I don't recall even before she powers up, she's still strong, isn't she?
Yeah.
yeah,
right.
But
So
she
then-
had Kree blood in her. That's the difference.
Well, I mean, it's the assumption that this is the same person, just not Brie Larson, because they didn't tell us anything different. So that's again not as bad as I thought it was. But then it gives me that question, like, oh well, she still should have had somewhat strength to not die from a statue.
Nah, Wanda's
She just
strong.
wasn't powered up. So maybe in the future, let's say, oh, if they ever go back to that universe, hey, she was the one survivor. Wouldn't be surprised, but I doubt it.
Unless with whatever sort of magic Wanda was
Immortal.
using kind of just took away her power.
Right.
Or
or
again,
strength.
she just got so knocked out that like she
Yeah.
couldn't power up again because like damn, I got rocked. She got the dizzy at the end of Mortal Kombat before the fatality.
And what format did you watch it in?
I saw it in Dolby.
Nice.
So yeah, sound was great. The picture was very clear. Wasn't that much of a difference from IMAX. Maybe a little bit more clear, but when we saw it in IMAX, it was noticeable that it filled up the screen,
whole screen,
either for the
yeah.
whole movie or for the majority of the movie. So
Disclaimer: Limax.
right, IMAX. Even if you saw it in real IMAX, it would have been the whole screen. So between the two, I mean, you can't really go wrong. Maybe IMAX a little bit of edge if you want to go for the picture because you get a little bit more view. But yeah, Dolby sound is ridiculous. So
I think I'm gonna try to watch it in 4DX.
do it. I mean,
Either 4DX or like a 3D.
I may
would
see it
be
one more time, probably in 3D, just to see, because they specifically said we made this movie with 3D in mind because they made the first one in 3D and they really.
I remember the first one was crazy. in
Right, and
3D.
they said
Oh,
like
it's
they had
nuts.
a really good response with the first one, so that's why they brought it back to make this
Yeah.
one specifically in 3D.
Like the universe, the multiversal jump that happens towards the end of Act 1. I think also what should be hot is the musical note fight. I think that would be really fun in 3D.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that whole subsection afterwards with the dark spirits, I think it'd be cool.
But yeah, so most
nice.
of the little gripes that I had kind of weren't as bad this time around. So yeah, I liked it a little bit better.
Nice.
The only thing was just like, oh, yeah, it's coincidental that she goes into the Wanda that's in that one specific universe. I'm not really sure how she found that they were in that specific universe. But
Darkhold, she
whatever.
was looking. She was
Yeah, I
looking
know.
through.
Whatever.
them. Yeah.
So, but
I'll be
again,
that guy,
so
sorry.
we all agreed it was still a really good movie. It's not maybe the best, but it's nowhere near the worst. It's I said last week that it's maybe not top 10, but it's definitely up there with like the top of the.
It's like top of
the middle tier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's top of mid tier.
So it's still very good. I still recommend it. So,
It's the
and I'm probably
style.
gonna see it one more time. A-list.
Yep.
Yep. Shout out to A-List again. Very nice, gentlemen. Okay,
That's it.
cool. So all those are recommendations from us. Go ahead and watch them on your respective platforms. And Danny, now we got some fun little news that we just got hit soon. So let's hit it up.
Yep. So after watching Doctor Strange, we all saw Avatar 2's teaser trailer for the first time.
After or before,
Or
technically.
Before.
Yeah.
Before.
But now that you saw it twice, Anthony, what do you guys think of Avatar 2?
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I always liked the original. I was one of those people that when they first announced it, one of those folks, when they announced it like 30 years ago, that that I was like, what is this Avatar thing? Oh, James Cameron. Oh, it might be pretty good because James Cameron makes good movies. And then I remember they did a whole like, watch like 5 minutes of this movie, special scene in 3D in IMAX before the movie came out. I don't remember what movie it was connected to, but I went with my brother and we saw this special 5-minute thing. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And this is when we saw it in Sunset Place. So it wasn't like real IMAX, but it was still interesting. And this was before the whole 3D craze. So this was like the reintroduction of 3D, then, the 80s glasses that people would put in. So yeah, it was interesting. I was like, all right, that got me a little bit more hyped for it. And then seeing the trailers, I was like, all right, looks pretty nice. And then I ended up seeing it in the real IMAX in Fort Lauderdale, and it was ridiculous. Like there were scenes where it, like the environment felt real. Like
Did we
it
go?
was,
I
was
think
nuts.
we went to IMAX.
Dude, I don't even remember.
I
It
think
was
I- it was
2009.
2009. I think it was like December of 2009. Afterwards, like, yo, we gotta watch it up there.
Yeah,
I remember
it was
seeing
insane,
it. It's like
man.
hella immersive.
Yeah, it was really good, and they're re-releasing it in September. So if they end up re-releasing it in real IMAX in Fort Lauderdale, we should all definitely go watch it.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask too, like, are we gonna watch the second one at that?
100%.
I would love to.
100%.
I would honestly love to.
Yeah,
because
100%.
considering the fact that the immersion of that whole cinematography, and at first kind of being mad because it's Avatar, it's the same, it's not Airbender. Like that was around the time where Airbender was
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
important.
It kind of took
Stupid
away
name.
the name because now
Yeah.
everyone calls it the Last Airbender. It's not.
Yeah.
like it's not
Avatar:
Avatar.
The Last Airbender. It's
Would
because
cause a lot of
it
confusion.
got taken.
Yep, it got
Liam
taken.
Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson style by Jim Cameron. But in its defense, like the story itself isn't really anything to like write home about. But it was just the technological marvel that it was.
Yeah.
Made it really cool to just experience that. Like that was definitely like a movie theater movie. Like that's like holy crap. Just you're really
Like-
immersed in it.
Like I have it on
It's nuts.
Blu-ray, but it's not the same. Like it's still a good
Yeah.
movie. You can watch it, but I don't even have it in 3D. So it's like it's definitely not the same because
No.
that's like the movie to watch in 3D. And I never had a 3D TV or anything like that. So
If they release it at that Fort Lauderdale theater, I would hope that it's in 3D in the IMAX.
oh no, it
Oh,
will be. It will be
should be.
100%.
mark our words, it will be.
Then we're definitely.
That
gonna
sounds
know.
hella serious.
Because
But
they gave we
it's
had
for sure.
when we went it was like it wasn't glasses, it was like kind of like a headset. It was like a
Oh, okay.
headset that was 3D. Yeah, it was
Ooh, pretty
interesting.
cool.
It was
Yeah, it was more affixed to your head, and so it's just really like it was 3D for depth. That's the first thing. Like I'd never experienced that before. It's like 3D and like you can go further on. It's like I'm not watching like a TV screen or a giant screen. I'm watching like a window.
Yeah, it wasn't so much of a
That's what it felt like.
oh, we're gonna throw stuff at you and it's gonna go through your eye or anything like that. Whoa.
3D.
It was more of like you can see how far away and how big the landscape is, and like you can see, okay, they're stepping here, but that island in the sky is like that far away. It just it looked massive.
Or they're riding, the beasts, and then you have the robots, like the mechs, really far that way too. Like that's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
But going back to like the trailer, the teaser itself, it was really cool seeing. It looks like Jake and gosh, what was her name?
Neytiri,
Neytiri.
something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Neytiri's kids. So you see kids, but then you also see like a human kid there too. Like it looks
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's like
I'm like, this is interesting. Did they
It's a
adopt a
hybrid.
kid?
No, it might be a hybrid.
Well, yeah, because in the trailer, I'm like, I couldn't tell if that was full on human or like a hybrid human and
and I'm not really sure
Na'vi.
how that would work.
I'm very curious.
Maybe
Yeah.
because since I guess Jake is technically not.
Jake's
But it doesn't
sweet.
matter because it's like his mind inside a body of
an
a
actual. But weren't the avatars created genetically?
So the avatars themselves, they were created genetically from their own from their own
DNA.
DNA,
Yeah.
which is why that Jake was able to go because his twin brother
his
was
twin brother,
originally
yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Which is probably how we get the hybrid.
yeah. So
Because
maybe
because that avatar body is technically
Dino.
it's half
Miami.
part human.
It's
yeah.
half him. Like it actually is part him.
Okay, I
Fill
mean,
the holes in the code. That's a Jurassic Park reference.
And,
So
they
yeah.
making love with their hair.
With hey, that's also how they rode the horses.
Sure, I'm not gonna.
You know, they kind of they used
rode
the
something.
tendrils.
They wrote something.
They rode they did the tendrils. I feel like the hair might have been just like, you know, with your hand, like how a hand holding, whatever. That's not the point. The point is the teaser. The teaser itself looked really nice
Yeah, it
on a
looked
big
nice.
screen. Like you see
And
that
the water, like all the water shots. I mean, it's
Yeah,
called
that's-
The Way of Water.
Right, they're
but
They weren't lying when they're like, "Oh yeah, this one's gonna have a lot of water." Like, "Oh well, that's
like,
the title."
yeah,
of the
the
movie.
title.
a good portion of the trailer and the teaser is all underwater. So
Right.
The entire every single shot.
it's just
it was water.
it's nuts to understand, like, because they were talking about this over years and years. Like we had to develop techniques to do mocap underwater, and people had to train to learn to swim. It's like, holy crap! Like how much like money did Fox have?
Yeah,
to
then
throw
Kate
out
Winslet,
these
like, she ended up learning how to hold her breath for like
5 minutes. or
no,
something?
like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah,
like
she
that.
beat
like an ungodly
She
amount.
beat Tom Cruise's record.
damn.
Yeah.
which
It
is
was
in
like
Mission
9
Impossible
minutes or
6 or
so.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had to be there for so long. And Tom Cruise must be, you know, mad at that.
Yeah, he's
just
like, man, I gotta be in the next Avatar.
Yeah, I got to no. It's like I got to do some Mission Impossible where I'm underwater for
Next
14
Mission
minutes.
Impossible.
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna-
lands in Pandora. He's like, I gotta beat these people.
Where's Jeremy Renner to help me? Bam, bam, bam. And Simon Pegg. And then yeah, like there's some interesting plot points that we see. We can try to allude to. It's taking place. I forget how many years in the future. Maybe like 8 or 9 or something.
It'll probably be 10, given that it's been 10 years,
10 years.
since the last one, or over 10 years since the
Maybe.
last one. But
But
Well,
13.
also the kids, you got to see like how the
How the
what age
kids
the kids
mature,
are.
if they're
Yeah.
mature or not. Yeah.
And I've heard the sequels after this second one are like even more time skips. So it's kind of like all these movies will
Like
be
a
like
family.
Well, they
it'll
have
be
to-
like a
Generational.
generational. It will be like generational
Yeah.
movies, and you'll see like how things change and how.
Yeah.
So like we're probably not going to see Sam Worthington in the third or fourth movie because it's going to be
Yeah.
other characters.
Aged out.
yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say maybe by the third one, a lot of the original characters are gonna be gone.
Right.
you know,
Well,
like, the
do we don't
characters are
know?
gonna be
Do we
dead.
know the lifespan of Navi? Like, I mean,
No.
there is a whole subculture.
I don't think there's a lot of
Avatar.
lore in that sense, where regarding
there are
No, but it's-
fandoms.
but
there are
he's
fandoms
still
that know.
controlling his Navi with his mind, right?
Yeah, like he's in it now. Like he's in it permanently.
Yeah,
Remember?
Yeah, he
'Cause
can't go
He did the
back.
the mind
the
transfer.
tree.
His body was
The-
dying.
I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, you gotta.
I
Yeah,
thought it was more of a like.
yeah,
I thought it was just like
literally,
they
like, the
have
last
his
5
they have
minutes
his
of the
human
movie.
body in like stasis. So it's
no,
like, oh,
it's,
maybe
the
his,
human body's gone.
maybe his human body dies eventually, and then
no, it's already
No,
gone.
it's
Okay.
yeah. At the end of the last, the last
last.
5 minutes. Yeah, the last,
it was like
the last 5 minutes
complete
of the movie
transfer
is-
complete.
Remember they tried
100%.
because they tried to do that with Sigourney Weaver's character, but it didn't
Right,
work.
'cause
Yeah,
she-
like
but
it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, she was dying before him, but it works for Jake. Point. It's 12-year-old spoilers. 13-year-old spoiler, I guess. Yeah, but it's on Disney Plus. So if you
Yeah.
want to rewatch it before rewatching it in like a badass format, do it again.
There was one part of that trailer that kind of took me out of it for a quick second. It was the shot of, I guess, the daughter underwater,
Mhm.
and I'm like, why does her face look like that?
Because she's underwater.
Damn, dude. What do you got against blue people? Jeez.
Why does she look at that? It's genetics. She couldn't help it. Come on, dude.
I don't know if it was because of like the CGI and the animation and the
That's not
underwater
CGI.
effects. It just looked really weird, and it kind of I was like, why does it look so weird?
Well, he has
Actually
until
real.
December
But that was really like the only
to
the
fix
only
the
shot.
kinks.
To fix the kicks.
I'm sure it'll all
Sure.
get.
Yeah, so they're still flying on the whatever they're called. But the thing is,
Ikran, I think.
yeah.
Ikran.
So
or Banshee.
the
in
Banshees,
English.
yeah. But the cool thing is, yeah, like you're talking about, the series is going to do time jumps. They have to catch up to Animal Kingdom in Disney, because that's like I think 100 years after the first movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you look into it, like
What?
if you go in there, yeah, like there's a whole like
I remember
there's
they
a
mentioned
tour
something
guide
like that.
in
Yeah.
Pandora, like they're in the mechs and everything, and they talk about that. Yeah, so and the whole like they talked about like the sort of human incursion, and they fought back, and yeah, it's a whole there's a really cool storytelling behind it that ties into the lore of the movie,
Incursion.
Oh, yes.
Like Doctor Strange.
like Doctor Strange incursion.
Bringing it back.
Spoilers. But yeah, there's a whole the conflict, and for the indigenous peoples fighting off the humans because they want unobtainium.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I said stories, whatever, but the technological marvel feats of the movie are really strong. So here's hoping. I'm really excited. Like I think the teaser did just enough to show us some very interesting things. The stuff that we know on the production side of the film, I think, just adds to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just patiently and anxiously waiting for more information and hopefully like a more well-rounded trailer to see what's going on. So that'll be fun.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the re-release of the first one supposedly is like they redid some of it.
Like
So-
remastered.
Yeah, they remastered it.
Did
so
they
it-
recut some stuff?
I don't
Or
know about
just
recut.
I don't know
I
why
know
it
there
needs to
was
be.
an extended version on
there
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So
It's already a
maybe
2.5 hour, 3 hour movie.
yeah, I think it was an extra 20 or 30 minutes. But it might be the extended cut with remastered visuals.
I'd be down to
might
see it
even,
again
Yeah, it might
in
even look
proper
better
IMAX.
than what you watched before.
I mean, to me, I mean, what needs to be remastered? I feel like the movie had
Already
really
looked good?
great.
exactly.
no,
so just
CG.
imagine.
just upscale it up.
Yeah, it's kinda like-
4K.
It's like PS3 to
Dolby up.
PS5 upgrade.
Yeah, just new coat of paint and
4K,
better resolution.
60 FPS.
Yeah, out of hand.
Mhm.
Wasn't it? Is this also the movie that was? Oh yeah, it's supposed to be. Way of Water is going to be was filmed and going to be released in a higher frame rate, right?
Yes.
That's also going to
That-
be wild.
Apparently, when they showed the trailer at CinemaCon, they gave everyone glasses and they showed it how it's going to be shown in theaters, and it's going to be in high frame rate. And some of the
Are we
reviews,
talking 30 FPS, 48?
it's I don't know, but they,
Like Hobbit?
I think it's similar to The Hobbit, but from what I heard of the people at CinemaCon, they said that like it looked so much better than The Hobbit, that it looked incredible.
Might be 48.
So
That's
Interesting.
kind of wild if it's 48, but that's cool.
so probably maybe all these years he's been honing down like how
How to
every
properly do
frame
that.
will
how
will
that
look.
tech works.
Yeah, how it will look with this frame rate. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
sure he's labored over it for the past.
And I used to
13
initially,
years.
yeah, like if the like initial 2 to 2 years that it came out, it was this is like cultural like icon making so much bank in box office. I was kind of poo-pooing it because like, oh, it's nothing really original, but it's technological feat. But looking back on it now, like I have more appreciation for it just from that same technical standpoint. So it's
I mean,
pretty
yeah,
dope.
the story's still good. Like, yeah, it's copying some other stories of other movies.
Ferngully. I'm sorry. what?
Ferngully, Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves and Ferngully.
But I mean, both of those are
In
good
space.
movies. So it's like when people usually say that, it's like, well, so then it's good. Like it's not bad.
It
like,
cribbed
it's
off
still
of
good.
good stuff.
I mean, there's plenty of movies that have
just-
copied
yeah.
stories of
Just
it.
no Tim Curry.
Right. So it's
you
not
know.
original, but still, still solid.
For sure. Nice. Yeah, that'll be exciting. Coming out what day exactly?
It's in December.
Yeah.
December 18th?
20.
When the water
22nd?
rises.
Yeah.
No,
And the frame rate is 48.
48. Oh,
Nice.
It is
alright.
Dope.
48.
that's gonna be dope.
All right.
Yeah, just a mind meld. Mind melt. Sorry.
But is it 48 in all formats, or is it only if you watch it in standard 3D?
Well, this is what this excerpt says. It says, it is understood that when released, Avatar 2 will be offered in a wide variety of formats to support the range of movie theater configurations in the US and around the world, including 3D and 4K, and incorporating a high frame rate of 48 FPS.
Ooh. So December 16th.
Nice.
Mission report.
Oh,
December
man.
16th, 2022.
Wait, December 16th is a Friday, so
That's-
we gotta watch it on like the 15th.
The
on a
15th on
Thursday.
a Thursday. Because
I'm gonna be a little busy on the 16th and
Yeah.
17th. So
that might be a tad busy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we understand.
So we should probably try to request
Oh yeah. Well,
to
yes.
make sure that we can go
go
see
to
it.
Fort Lauderdale.
we can go to
Yes.
Fort Lauderdale.
But, so
yeah.
for
For
sure,
both.
so for sure, whatever. We can talk about it later.
Yeah, that'll be a thing. We've got plans. That's great. All right, hit us with our next piece of news.
All right, so this is going to be Zach's favorite. We're talking about Dune.
Dune Part 2, baby.
Dune
Why
Part
is it
2.
my favorite?
Dune Part
I mean,
2.
you
It's all
voted
of our
Dune
it's,
for
it's all of our
everything.
favorites. It's all of our favorites.
It's all of our
Yes,
favorites.
We all
it
voted
is.
Dune.
We all-
like, hey man, won the Oscar.
So we got a casting
Confirmation?
announcement.
Ooh.
We got Christopher Walken
Whoa.
joining Dune 2
Ooh,
as
really?
the Emperor.
Emperor Shaddam the Fourth.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Dune lore hat just came on for a bit. That's baller. I cannot wait. I know other fans of the book that were like, I don't know, that's kind of weird casting, but I think that's okay. It should be interesting. I trust Denis Villeneuve. He knows what he's doing. That's gonna be so damn cool, and
Christopher Walken.
just like either he's gonna add a certain weird sense of gravitas to it, but understandably really freaking cool. Like I that's my personal take on that. I think that's gonna be badass.
He no longer needs more cowboy, just more.
He needs
desert,
more spice.
more desert. Yeah,
Because
I
the
need more
spice must
spice.
flow. I mean, because that's good. Because that's a confirmed
Yeah.
casting. Because there's other rumored casting that has not been confirmed yet. Like
which
people,
ones?
like
Florence Pugh has been.
I don't think she's been
confirmed.
confirmed yet.
I'm pretty sure Florence
It
Pugh
was
and
Florence
Elvis
Pugh
have been
and,
confirmed.
Austin Butler and Florence Pugh. Last time I heard is like they're like in talks or there's signings. Like there's nothing official
I mean,
yet.
you gotta hurry up. This movie's
They
coming
have
out
to
next
hurry
year.
up. But now that I see it, it's just like, damn, Austin Butler is blowing up. Like I remember the first thing I saw him in was freaking this random. I think it was the Shannara Chronicles. Yeah, on MTV,
Oh.
which then moved to Netflix, and then
Never watched it.
yeah, it's
I-
okay.
I was told he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I didn't know he was in it. So.
He was one of the horse guys on the ranch with the
Horse
Manson
guys.
families.
Okay.
Yeah, he's Tix. Yeah, he's that dude Tix. But he's also
Did he get got at the end of the movie?
I think so. Yes, I believe he got at the
That's
end.
amazing.
But he was also like randomly Thea's boyfriend in Arrow. Like he was there for like 2 to 3 episodes, and he ended up working with the League or some crap. Whatever. Point
He was
is,
on Arrow?
which season?
he was on Arrow.
Which season?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I want to say season.
Because I didn't see the last season.
I want to say season 3.
Oh, okay.
Also a little
Oh,
earlier on.
oh,
So,
But he
you
was
know.
he's also from was it Disney or Nickelodeon? I think Disney fame for a while.
Disney,
Either Disney or Nickelodeon.
I think it was Disney.
one of the two.
Nickelodeon. There's just a few. Yeah, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, he was
Yep.
on there for a little bit.
Disney boy.
Yep.
Or once maybe. I
Now
don't
he's
know.
Elvis.
Now he's Elvis.
Now he's Elvis, yeah.
Right.
With it's starring alongside Tom Hanks. But anyway, like if it's confirmed, he's Fade Routha. He's like the pretty nephew of the Baron Harkonnen, well, which makes sense because he is a pretty boy, so he could pull it off. But Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan would be, if again, that's gonna be interesting to see. It's just stack on all the big names. Just make it happen. It's gonna be
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, I'm hyped. I don't know about you guys, but I'm hyped for Christopher Walken.
I mean, I
He
don't
was
know.
on
I'm just
Severance
hyped for
being
part
badass.
two. I'm hyped for part 2.
Like he's he's awesome in Severance. So like
That
you know.
that's true too.
First movie
Oh.
was excellent.
I don't know much about the characters because
Me
I
neither.
don't know much about Dune lore other than the movie. But
It's the Emperor of the
cast
known
is,
universe. That's who he's
cast
playing
is
the
stacked.
Emperor of the known universe. So he's the guy who basically like told and let the Harkonnens
take
along
over
with the Blades to go and take over. Yeah, just have that weird power move.
Yeah.
Because first the Emperor is like, yeah, no, go take over. And then, all right, now just take out the Atreides. Because
Like I
it makes
remember we
sense.
got the mention of the Emperor, but we never obviously got. to
Yeah,
see
like the Herald was there
Yeah.
on Caladan doing stuff. Nerds. Sorry. Anyway, that's hype. And then I think we got a last bit of news that just hit today. I think we got a trailer.
just announced today. We have
Or a teaser.
Pixar's new movie announcement. It's called
Mm.
Elemental. Comes out June 16th, 2023. There's no trailer,
Hopefully
but
to theaters.
There was
hopefully
concept
if it's
art.
next
there was
year,
concept art.
for sure.
And we got a brief description of what it's about. So, Elemental journeys alongside an unlikely pair with Ember and Wade in a city where fire, water, land, and air residents live together.
I was just like, wait, is this Korra? Like,
The fiery young
is this
woman,
Republic City?
the fiery young woman, and the go with the flow guy are about to discover something elemental. How much they actually have in common.
But
All right.
But
So the guy that goes with the flow, is he like the wind?
Is he? He's
the
probably
wind
the
guy?
air guy.
the water.
He's the air guy,
Water.
dude.
Oh, it could be true.
Is he water?
The flow of water.
Ah.
It
Yeah.
goes both.
It says
ways.
go with the flow guy and fiery young
Avatar
women.
Kuruk. I'm more of a go with the flow kind of avatar.
Yeah. That's the
This
surfing
is by
dude.
the person that did the Good Dinosaur, right?
Oh wow.
I think so.
Is it?
I think so.
I mean,
I don't
I
know
feel like Pixar has only
Yes,
ever had like
Denise
three,
Ream.
three
I'm cheating and looking
directors.
online right now. But yes, the answer is yeah, Good Dinosaur. Oh, produced by she also produced Cars 2. Oh no.
I saw a meme or a joke somewhere where it's saying the new Pixar movie is going to be what if elements had feelings.
What if elements that feel? Oh God, it's gonna hit us. How much they actually have in common? But the director, he directed The Good Dinosaur and a short for Partly Cloudy with like a chance of whatever. Anyway,
Meatballs?
no, I lied. No, not that. It's just a different short called Partly Cloudy.
Mm.
But should be interesting. Should be cool, man.
It's always good getting new Pixar movies.
Yeah, it looks like the go with the flow guy is Water. Because
Good call.
yeah, go with the flow. I just saw the concept art. It's like, yeah, he's pretty cool. So here's hoping. It's not Cars 2. That's all I want. That's all I ask is.
I mean, we got Lightyear coming out, so
That's definitely not going to be Cars 2.
that's gonna be great.
Yeah. You got that's got a good cast as well as looks like good production value too.
Yep.
All right, that's exciting. So that's a bit of news. Hopefully we get more on those fronts as the months come by. But let's get down to business and the nitty gritty. And let's soar right into Danny and Zach's reactions on Top Gun. That classic. It's so good. I think it's awesome. Like it's just like one of those like quintessential 80s movies. Directed by the late Tony Scott. That's Ridley Scott's brother.
Nice.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. He also directed Troy, which I don't know if you can kind of tell in some of the styles, but it's
He did Troy or did Ridley Scott do Troy?
I thought Tony Scott did Troy. That's what I thought. But as I looked that up and confirmed
To the internet.
to the interwebs, as I go through, so what Zach got to see the first thing that comes into mind when the movie plays. You get the gong, like the bong, and the theme starts playing. Like
Well,
as it loops, like many other themes in the movie, just loop over and over and over. What was the first thing you noticed in that little synopsis?
It wasn't me. It was someone. It was my cousin's fiance that noticed it, and I just took the picture. That the opening text misspelled the word insure, or used the wrong spelling of the word insure.
INSURE.
Yeah,
Yeah,
instead of ENSURE.
yeah. That was
Nice.
that's it. You pointed that out. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot just how bad that is. Yes. And
then you looked it up too.
I looked it up, and
when we were watching it.
Yeah, I sent the screenshot to the group chat here that we're in. It says so. All I did was look up Top Gun intro typo, and the first thing that pops up from Reddit says the opening to Top Gun 1986 incorrectly used insure instead of ensure.
Nice.
nice. Yeah, you wanna insure
He wants to
insurance.
insure the pilots.
Yeah, it's $30 million planes that they're flying at the time. Side note, it was Wolfgang Peterson that directed Troy. So
Troy?
You guys
I
are
sit
way
on this
off.
So it's
comfy
neither of
ass
them?
couch corrected.
Neither of them?
So neither of them.
Nice.
I don't know why I kept thinking they had something to do with that movie.
Oh, because I think, did Ridley Scott do Alexander? He
no,
did one of those. I could have sworn he did one of those.
He did Gladiator, but
I know that.
Alexander was what's this guy's name? Oliver Stone. It's different.
Interesting.
Anyway, so yeah, after that weird glaring typo, it hit you right with the aircraft carrier and the danger zone, right?
It's a good opening action sequence.
Yeah, right. They got the MiG, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And what's his name?
This
is
guy
freaking
having
out.
a heart attack.
Yeah, he had a
Panic
panic
attack.
attack
Yeah.
up there. Like, oh my god, my life, like flashing before his eyes, and then Maverick goes to save him, and then he does the infamous inversion,
Flick him off.
and then Goose taking the Polaroid. That guy must have been looking like, the hell are these? What?
I have kind of a nitpick of that scene actually. So
Oh, go for it.
the jets have these super tall tail wings.
Mm-hmm.
So how could he have gotten that close without the tail wings?
Smacking. The MiGs have only one tail wing, and the F-15s have two.
I
He's that good.
guess.
He's that
I
good.
guess,
Don't
right.
you question it.
Exactly.
Right threading the needle.
Exactly.
Shut your mouth. Yeah.
Okay, then that might have been something that I didn't notice from Maverick's jet, but
Yeah, because the F-15s, they would do it. So 2 meters, it's just like, okay, we're going to thread it in there and be a real...
1.5.
Yeah,
1.5 meters.
1.5 meters. Be a right prick about it, which is great. And so funny, did you notice, since you had just recently watched Back to the Future, the commanding officer was the
Strickland.
principal?
Strickland.
Principal
Oh, it was?
Strickland? Yeah, bald head and everything.
I
I'm
didn't
surprised you didn't call
I
Maverick a
didn't-
slagger.
yeah,
Okay,
I thought he was
now that
You're
now
a
that
reckless
you
slacker,
mentioned it,
McFly, McMaverick.
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 Yeah, now that you mention it, I can see that now. Yeah,
Yeah, you can see it because it's there.
Because it's there.
It's because it's there.
Yep, 100%. And then the guy who played Goose ended up going to be an ER, so that's fun. But anyway, I got ahead of myself. Yeah, that's a cool opening sequence, and they're like, "You're going to Top Gun because what's his name can't handle it." I forgot his call sign, but it was
You're in trouble, but you're promoted at the same time.
yeah, you're going because he couldn't hang
Yeah.
it, he couldn't hack it, so you're going. And he goes there, kind of. It's
was
great
it like
because
Cougar or something. I don't know.
I think it was
Cougar,
one of those.
yeah.
It
might
was
have been
Cougar. I feel like Maverick is already going, as you find out later in the movie, with a chip on his shoulder, which is why he flies so crazy recklessly. But the cool thing, I don't know if you guys knew that, is I don't know if they contracted Boeing, but one of the little trivia nitpicks I got to see that was really nice is that they were able to like redesign certain things on the planes in order to mount cameras so that they can have the shots that they have throughout the movie.
Yeah, the visuals looked great. I mean, for you guys said
86.
86,
86.
Mhm.
like it's top notch for
Yeah,
86.
I mean, all of it was pretty much practical.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
A
And
lot of like GoPro esque kind
Yeah.
of shots.
Which gets me excited for Top Gun Maverick.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did something similar, and I think they had to do. Didn't they give like? I think they trained all the actors how to
like actual training.
use the camera. Well, they trained them in
Yeah.
the jets, but they trained them like how to have the cameras and where to put the cameras on the jet.
so they
'cause
could
they're
direct
essentially-
themselves.
They're essentially
In-
filming themselves while they're doing their training. So
Now, do all the actors know how to fly?
yeah,
They have
in
to,
this movie or in the second one.
No,
In the second one.
upcoming one. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured they did lots of training because they said they shot 800 hours of footage.
There's a video
So-
online that shows like some of the training they did.
Yeah,
I don't think they
Yeah.
actually learned how to
They didn't-
fly, but they learned how to.
they have to learn to use the controls properly so it's
Yeah.
accurate. Even though like there's other things that are inaccurate, like they use the term bogey a lot of times inaccurate. Like there's so many bogeys around us. It's like really, like it would actually be either bandits or hostiles, but that's a different story.
Isn't bogey for missiles or something?
Bogey is a designation for like just it's not like because you have a bandit just like an unidentified. I forgot there's something for friendlies, and then you have hostile. Like okay, you have like how many hostile MiGs? Like it would be hostile MiGs. They said bogey MiGs. It's like no, it's hostile MiGs. But yeah, there's things that they get a little wrong. There's things they get right, but it's cool. Like I like that they still go like Top Gun is they stay presented as like this is a flight school, so they're in a classroom for good portions of it. And then before he gets to school though, they go to that bar to celebrate that they're there, and Maverick has the great idea of just hitting on the hottest woman in the room, which then turns out to be his
karaoke.
instructor.
Yeah.
And then they do a whole little karaoke thing. It's like, oh, I think she's missing the light, or they do a little cheese on. He's like, no, I think she's got it. Like the goose is like, oh my god, really? Like we're gonna do this again? And they get into it, and then like the whole bar just joins in on the karaoke bit, and she's just like, oh, it's so cool, I love the song, but don't quit your day job. I hope you're a good pilot because you're a bad singer. He's just like, damn. Yeah, he got bonesawed like twice in that whole interaction.
And then she shows up as the like instructor type.
She has a PhD in astrophysics, so a lot of the maneuvering, it's like I have this backed by science. And Maverick's this guy like goes off a feeling, and then she's like talking about like, oh, no one's ever seen a MiG. It's like I've seen a MiG, and then he tells the whole story, and she's like, this is some BS. And what's funny is Iceman, played by Val Kilmer, when he goes bullshit like that's improv. So like half the crew laughing is legit.
Oh, that's cool.
And then he tells the whole story, and she's like, oh, so you're the one. It's you. And she's just like,
I think from there she's like, oh,
Pretty much.
I love you.
yeah, I love you.
You know what happened at that moment?
She got her breath taken away.
Which that song played
Like
100
5
times.
Yeah.
No, it looped like that song by that whole melody by Berlin just loops forever and ever. Yeah, that's a thing. And he flies around.
I mean, the whole soundtrack was looped. It was like three songs. It was Danger Zone, that one, and then like the actual Top Gun theme.
how can you forget Playing with the Boys? They were playing that volleyball game
In the volleyball.
And
Yeah.
they were playing with the boys. Pa! And then they're just playing volleyball and
And how many
they-
times did they do their signature like high five?
high five like 3
The
times
high
because
five and
Their
no-
high five,
no
and then jeans in the sand.
in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what is Maverick doing playing with jeans on like in this random sand pit? But whatever. Like weird thing is I remember watching the movie, and like when I was a kid, I was like, man, these guys are jacked. Now I watch them, I was like, hey, these guys ain't jacked. Like, what is this? Like, they're not jacked at all. They're just lean. Like, I thought they were like massive for some reason, but no, it's just kind of like they're just
Not
randomly
massive,
playing.
but in very good shape.
Yeah, they're in solid shape, and they go 1-1 in the game, and they're like, no, Goose is like, come on, man, we gotta go, we gotta win it, and he uses that to leave his bro for Kelly McGillis.
He's like, I gotta take care of something.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm sorry, I gotta take care of something. Like,
And he was late.
Nice.
yeah, and he was late because he was too busy whooping on these boys while playing with the boys.
One thing I noticed with the Top Gun Maverick trailer now, there's a scene where he's riding the motorcycle on the strip almost
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
next to the jet leaving.
Yep.
That was also in the first movie,
Yep.
and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
They-
that's why when I watched the trailer, I was like, they're doing the thing
Yeah.
again. Now you're doing it. You were watching it like, wait, I don't know what this is.
And he's like,
But I saw it the other way around. Like, I saw the trailer first, and then I saw this one, so that was pretty cool.
yeah, me too. Wait, when I saw that shot too, I thought the same thing. Like, oh, it's like in the trailer.
In the trailer.
Yeah. And so, like, all the sequences when they're in so what did you guys like about the first sequence where they were flying and they end up like doing the simulated kill on the instructor, and they're like, oh shit, like they're good.
Yeah.
Like, you even see the instructor's like, what the hell? Like, this guy actually knows how to fly.
Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside as Jester.
Oh yeah.
And then we got the guy with the coffee,
Oh man,
spilling the coffee the whole
Yeah,
movie.
that's one of my favorite
The
scenes
ATC.
in the
Can
entire
I go for a
movie.
flyby? Nope.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. This is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby. He's like, negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. He's like, well, this guy. And he just buzzes the tower. Apparently, if you buzz the tower like that recklessly, they're just like, nah, you're done. Like, you're grounded for like your career.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's hella reckless. Yeah, the fact that, and then what's funny is after his reaction afterwards, he's like, I want somebody's butt. I want some butts. And then like he bumps into this guy and gets spilled coffee. He's like, again.
It's
He's
like 10 of them. Yeah.
yeah, he's like, I need some butts. Like, it's just the out of context. He's just yelling he needs some butts. I'm like, okay, like
And he cannot lie.
he can. Yeah, he's just Sir Mix-a-Lot as a naval flight.
Now we need to
person.
see coffee spilling in Maverick.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
watch
sure
it.
there will be.
Watch Maverick get coffee spilled on him since he's technically now an instructor. Karma. Or, what's his name? John Hamm.
Maybe.
John Hamm gets coffee spilled on him. That'll be great.
He gets ham done.
He gets him done. Yeah, so then that's more of the understanding of like, damn, like Maverick's out here doing some wild stuff, and he gets Tom Skerritt's attention, who's Viper, like the head instructor, and he's just like, hey, you got to follow orders. If you do that again, you're out. And he's like, oh, that's my one warning.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's more that you were mentioning, like all the bro tension between Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Stare down.
All the time. Even they're in class and they're talking about
Yeah,
theory.
just-
He's just like,
Or even the first time they meet, it's just, you could tell Val Kilmer's sitting on the side, and then just Tom Cruise just looks straight at him. Like,
Hollywood.
Or when he's looking he's like, I'm looking to see who's the best.
yeah.
Yeah. And he's just like, look, trying to just find the toughest guy in the room and just stare him
It
down.
was like that one. Okay.
That guy, Iceman. And then he's not that great at volleyball. He's a decent pilot. But then, we get more of the whole tension between instructor and Maverick. So you get Charlie and Maverick doing their whole thing. And then we find out Goose is married and he has a kid.
We get a backstory with Goose.
That's
and,
really cool. Meg Ryan's his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty dope. Yeah.
Get some piano playing.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. I don't know why, but that scene always cracks me up.
Yeah, I think he was fake playing the piano.
He definitely
Yeah,
was
he
fake
was for
playing.
sure.
So,
He's
For
not
sure.
John Cena actually playing the piano. Who can do that, by the way? He's legit.
I'll never know
In,
because
in
I can't see him.
Peacemaker.
In Peacemaker, that was him playing Home Sweet Home. Yeah. But what's cool is, this is a flash forward now to Maverick. That little kid ends up being Rooster, which is funny because
He looks very similar to Goose.
yes, like he's got the mustache and
It
everything, the
was a good
spiked
casting.
hair.
casting. It was a good casting. I
And
think.
Miles Teller looks a lot like it. And what's funny is his call sign is still a bird.
Yeah. Rooster, Goose.
Rooster Goose. I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on there. But I don't know. It's kind of weird that like when you watch the movie now, because that's one of the other more pivotal moments is the part where you have the training accident that takes Goose's life.
Yeah.
I find it still weird that he blames Maverick for that when it was, I think it was Iceman that pulled away and caused like a jet stream to have him spin laterally, and then like burnt out his engine, and then they got stuck. So I was like, it's messed up. Like, like, hey kid, like that's misplaced anger. Like,
Yeah.
you have a chip on your shoulder, but we won't find out, I guess, till Maverick, right?
Actually, that was something that I wanted to mention too. Is that watching the trailer for Top Gun Maverick, where Rooster mentions how my father trusted you or whatever it was that he said in the trailer. I'm like, wait, so does that mean that his dad died or something? And then
you're like,
Oh,
there you go.
Okay, so that's why he says that in the trailer.
Well, at first I didn't notice. Like I saw that they both ejected, but I didn't notice that he hit the.
Oh, you didn't notice
he
that?
insta-died.
Like
I noticed that right
Yeah,
away.
I
it's
saw
like
it.
the canopy didn't completely.
yeah, I saw
because
it
they were
happen.
spinning
off, yeah.
laterally.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it happen, and then I didn't process until like they got into the water, and I was like, oh, okay. I see
yeah,
what
he
happened.
did. Yep. And he kept his dog tag. That's why he was just like,
Yeah, like
And then-
even
And then threw it away later.
like he already
they're
knew.
at,
Like
the-
Tom Cruise
the
already knew.
Diamond of the Sea or the
By,
Heart of
like
the
by
Sea.
the time he like went after him in the water, like he already knew.
yeah,
And that's why when later they show like the admiral or whatever I forgot his rank, but the head of the school like tells him like he's dead. He's like, yeah, I already know.
yeah, he's like, he didn't know. He's like, I knew that. Yeah. And so, yeah, Maverick has this whole arc of this, like, is the flying reckless, because that was the whole thing with Iceman too. Iceman had his like the sights, and he's like, dude, take the shot. I was like, no, I need more time. He's just like, and they were both hella frustrated with Iceman, like not taking the shot. Like, this
Yeah.
is the pattern. Like, come on, do it. And because the lesson before, he went away from his wingman to try to chase after Viper, and then Jester came from behind and took out Maverick in the simulation. He's like, boom, you're dead.
Yeah.
And then he gave him the famous line, was like, that's some of the best flying I've ever seen, right up to the part you died. And he just gives him that lesson. It's like, never leave your wingman. Again, Michael Ironside with the cool ass delivery. But those are lessons he takes with him, and he has this like low point where he wants to quit, and
Yep.
his girlfriend's kind of like, oh, I'm going to Washington D.C., but trying to get him out of the slump, but he's just too into it, and he ends up talking to Viper, and who turns out he knew his dad. Again, the whole chip on his shoulder is kind of gone because he lets him know, like, hey, your dad, they were by the book. He wasn't disgraced pilot or anything like that. So, there's
we get a little backstory, which was nice.
yeah, and so again, more things to take into the sequel. The flying sequences are cool, but then you get this international incident that after graduation from
On
Top
graduation.
Gun. Yeah, it's
For
like
real.
international incident.
Congratulations, guys, but it's like
Yeah,
you can't
come
celebrate your
on.
graduation. you have
gonna-
a mission.
Yeah, we got a mission. It's 1, 2, 3. Like, let's go. And they just roll call everybody. And how messed up was it that instead of going, they lay out the mission and like they give everybody their specific roles to play.
Mhm.
That Iceman, it goes straight to command. Is like, are you sure about Maverick? Instead of like going to Maverick himself and be like, hey man, are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
looking back, I was like, that's kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was kind of a dick the whole movie,
I know,
except
but
for
like,
that one scene where he like said, "I'm sorry."
yeah. Except for
He's like,
that
you
was-
could be my wingman
Huckleberry.
anytime.
Oh, no, that's
No,
another movie.
that's watch Tombstone. No, Then he goes, no, you can be mine. I was like, what? Like,
He's like, that's the same.
that's the
thing.
same thing.
I
my
think he
guy.
meant like, nah, like I'm better than you.
I'm better than you. You
Yeah.
can be mine. Yeah, I got 3 kills. You only got 1, which I got ahead of myself. What did you guys think about that last sequence? Like that whole like, oh my god, there's 5 planes out here, and
5 against 3 or
Yeah.
5 against 2, and then
Well, it's 3, and then became 2.
yeah.
'Cause-
Well, I mean, it was 2
It was
first,
2, and then
waiting
they're like,
for
shit, and they're like, man, we got a
We're
bunch,
getting
we got a bunch of
overloaded.
bogeys
yeah,
over
and
here.
then we
Yeah.
need to send Maverick. So then Maverick goes, but on his way, I think
One of the
one
guys gets
goes
shot
down.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
they eject, but they got shot.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
so. Then it's 5 against 2 again. Still,
Yeah.
And at the time after the graduation, when they gave them when they called out the names of the people who were going on the mission, there's like Maverick, and they didn't even have like his
partner.
partner.
They
You're
told
like,
him.
yeah, they told him we'll give you somebody when you get to your plane. Like,
Get to
it's like,
plane,
they
like,
didn't even
what?
pick one yet.
It's like you couldn't give me any of the graduates too.
It was
No.
probably I bet you the nobody wanted to be with this. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to be with this guy who's still
Kind of
not
losing it.
acting right.
Yeah, he's kind of losing it, not sure of
But
himself.
then they ended up picking Tim Robbins.
Yeah, it's the same guy who was Cougar's RIO, the radar person, from the beginning of the movie, which is
Merlin.
really cool. He's
Yeah.
call sign Merlin, and he's just telling like, dude, you gotta come back in, man. You gotta go back in. I'm just like, Andy Dufresne is telling you to get back into the fight, and that's a Shawshank reference. I don't think you guys know about that.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, man.
They don't know about Shawshank.
That's a great movie.
It's Andy Dufresne telling Tom Cruise how to fly a plane. So
San Watanejo.
Sawatanejo. Yeah, so again, like how, like from a technical standpoint, like you were mentioning before, like, hey, like the shots are really cool. Like that last sequence is really well done. Like, I don't know what you guys thought about that too. Like him taking out like 3 planes, Iceman taking out 1, like
It was
that's
good
cool,
teamwork.
right?
Like
Yeah.
all the training paid off.
Mhm.
You see like everything that they've learned and kind of gone through.
He pulled the brake maneuver again, or he's just like,
Yeah, it
whoop.
just goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes up and back, and he's like, suck it, kid. And that Mig's like, no, dead. Gone, bodied. And then it's funny because then at the end of it, when I watched it as a kid, I never paid attention to the dialogue because they get to a point where like, you know, we did it, yeah, Maverick, Iceman, you're the best, whatever. And they land back down and they give him the rundown. It's like, oh, you're the most famous pilot in the country. The other side, they don't say who, but it's like, oh, the other side's denying it ever even happened.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to risk international incidents.
Mhm.
But we know what happened. Like, you know, you're the best. What do you want to do now? You got free reign. And what does Maverick say?
I want to be a teacher. Maybe come back and teach.
He's just like, God help us all.
Top Gun.
Yeah, he goes, Top Gun?
Top Gun.
God help us
instructor.
all. Ha ha. And then, you know, Strickland.
Slacker.
Yeah, Strickland gives him the slap on the shoulder. And
And then we get the music again.
then we get the.
Take my man. Oh no, the other
No.
one. The other one. The other one.
It was, I think it's Cheap Trick. It's the song by Cheap Trick. I
I was just waiting for the 6th time of Take, My Breath Away.
away. Boom, boom. Yeah, that soundtrack is again legendary, just because of all the ridiculousness. But I personally like it. Always, what the main anthem always stuck with me because they have the whole like the full version has a guitar. It's like
Yeah.
the guitarist from that Billy Idol used a lot for his stuff, and
Oh, nice.
the guitar solos hella cool. Like
It's like a very 80s guitar solo.
yeah, it's dope. I don't know. We can't play it because I don't think we have the license. I don't want to get like hit with a copyright infringement. But whatever music service you have, look it up. It's just Top Gun original motion picture soundtrack. It'll be the Top Gun anthem. You'll obviously see Danger Zone and Take My Breath Away, but you also have Playing with the
And
Boys.
That's it. There's 3 songs. In that.
No, there's don't disrespect Playing with the
Another one
Boys.
that played a lot. You probably won't remember it now until you hear it. I think it's called Memories. It's like
Yes.
an original.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it was like
Boom, boom. Yeah, that's
like the sad one.
That's the sad theme.
Yeah.
Yes, that plays like at least 3 times.
Yeah. It was always right after Take My Breath Away.
It seems like there wasn't enough music budget. It's like they had to reuse
Oh, no, there
the
was
same
enough.
like 5.
There
when
was enough.
But when you look back at it, it's like, but did they really need other songs? Because
I think it that those
Probably not.
5.
Anthony has a point. I'm sorry. Like you,
I
just-
mean, they could have honestly. I wouldn't have minded if they just played "Highway to the Danger Zone" the whole entire movie. Like,
it's just dangerous.
like every time they start playing the beginning, I'm like, wow, this is the 4th time. I was like,
It was good.
I thought it
Good
was bad
soundtrack.
in Back to the Future where they played like "Power of Love,"
Power of Love, like,
3
only
times, in,
3
like,
times?
in the first like 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, because they played it in the opening credits, and then they played it in the tryouts, and then they played it like at the end of
That's
the movie.
the power.
But yeah, you got another piece of 80s education right there.
Yep.
And the common thread being Principal Strickland. That's my
There you
favorite
go.
part of it. Is just hey, the principal's there. Yeah, man. So overall, if you had to give it a popcorn watch list score, out of one popcorn box being throw the popcorn, it's stale, to 10 being I need to order a million more of these.
I think the one would just be the kernels.
Just the
popcorn
kernels that never
yeah.
popped.
The sucky
Yeah.
kernels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just got stale. You can't even nuke them. Okay, to 10 being the best popcorn you have with whatever toppings
Lot
you
of-
personally enjoy.
A lot of butter.
What would you give it?
how,
Guys.
how many Need for Speeds will you give it?
What level of the
I-
danger zone are we talking about?
Well,
here?
let me just talk about some things that I didn't like
Do
in
it.
the movie.
Oh, go for
before
it.
I give my score.
Do it.
So, one thing would be that I felt like there wasn't a lot going for the story.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
It's pretty bare bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. To hotshot pilot needs to show that he's not the most hotshottest. Learns responsibility and lessons from flying reckless, but
Yeah.
trusts himself in the end and trusts others, and saves the country and other people from an international incident, and grows to be a better person for it through loss, and learning.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's really bare bones.
But
It's an 80s movie.
Cool
It
jets.
still wasn't great.
Yeah,
It
a
was
lot of movies in
okay.
the '80s were like that. It's like, here's a story,
Yeah, it's
boom,
very
boom, boom,
cheesy.
done.
Yeah, very very typical 80s cheesy. Yeah, it was okay.
Great cheese. Though.
And there wasn't a lot of the only character development we got was Goose. I think.
Damn, really?
Damn.
Not even Maverick that I just laid out for you right there.
okay,
The whole story.
some Maverick, but still, I feel like maybe Goose had a little bit more going for him.
Yeah,
But-
Meg Ryan.
Not even Iceman, a guy who decided like, hey, I'm gonna actually learn to trust the crazy
His-
hotshot pilot.
His arc is that he becomes Batman later. That's his arc.
No, he becomes Jim Morrison and then Doc Holliday.
Exactly.
I think Iceman's story arc was just like, okay, he's he's the cool guy. He's the not the bully, but he's like,
He's like the jock of the group.
he's very
Yeah.
like egotistical.
The jock of all the jocks.
yeah,
they're
he's
all
the jockiest jock.
and at the end he's like, I'd be happy to be your wing, or whatever I don't know what the hell he says. I'd be happy to be your wingman, or whatever it was.
You could be my
You could be
wingman
my wingman
anytime.
anytime.
Yeah, that.
Super hug.
And then bro hug.
Let's go play volleyball on the beach.
Oh yeah.
Exactly right. You're starting to learn. You already know.
Skins versus skins. All right.
Sunglasses versus mustaches.
So what's your overall
10.
score? Dune.
Are you close to the 6.9 that IMDb has? I'm not really sure what the
Rotten Tomatoes score is?
meta score is.
I'll pull that
No,
up
I
while
think it's
he's
a
guessing.
57.
on
I think it's
Rotten
a
Tomatoes.
57 Rotten Tomatoes.
And then like an 83 audience.
I would have to
Sounds about
say, I think those two were really like those two things were my bigger negatives about the movie. I really hope that the second one has a lot more character development, growth, and all that stuff. I'm gonna have to go with a 6.5.
All right.
Fair enough.
Pretty good.
Nice.
I think a 6.5 is fair.
All right. Okay with
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I embraced the cheesiness.
Good for you.
Loved the soundtrack.
Oh, one more thing I should also mention is the acting was a little. But,
Yeah, it had
in
its-
a lot
it-
of parts. It was kind of like
It had its moments on the acting, but
yeah.
And you have
I
to understand
understood it just
yeah.
because it was the 80s.
exactly. So back
Yeah.
then, having those like 3 or 4 songs in the movie just keep replaying, that was probably normal back then. So
Yeah,
people watching it when it came out probably didn't think it was cheesy. They're just like, oh yes, the 4th time I get to hear.
I love Kenny Loggins.
I'm gonna go.
Caddyshack.
I'm gonna go more IGN with this, so maybe like a 7.5.
Just when in doubt, 7.
That's like
Um,
always putting
7
C
GN.
on like a Scantron test.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's like it's just put
right
C
down the middle. It'll work.
it's pretty solid.
You're right
So-
25% of the time. So.
all the time.
all the time. 60% of the time it works. Every time.
But
All right.
glad we both got to see it right before Maverick, because we're gonna see it in IMAX, real IMAX.
Real
Real
IMAX,
IMAX.
guys.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's gonna be exciting.
That's gonna be it,
So yeah,
man.
we'll get that review to you in a few weeks.
Hopefully, yeah, we'll get that out there. With that being said, I'm glad you two liked it a lot. It is a classic. You can now say that you've seen one of the classics.
Mhm.
Going down Tom Cruise's filmography there, that's where it really picked up and kind of, amongst other movies, really cemented
I
him.
guess
as
you can
the
say
lead
it's
man.
taken off.
Oh yes, yeah. Did it? But
Nice.
it didn't take your breath away. It seems.
No.
Just it really put him in the danger zone of Hollywood A-list. Just kept him going. He was playing with the other boys of that A-list. I'm gonna keep going. No, I'm stopping. I swear to God, I'll stop. But that's awesome. I'm really glad that you you took the time, got the take in. Hopefully the all the listeners and the viewers can understand and can relate to some of the things that you guys saw, the cheesiness, the goods, the ups and the downs, the inversions, the
Incursions.
Twisty McFisties.
the flybys, the buzzings. That guy got hit with 3 times with coffee, by the way.
3? I thought it was 2.
It was like
It was
I
like
think it was
3
just-
times. No, it was
twice.
it was the
Like
it was
the
no,
cabbages guy.
No,
They're better.
Yeah, it was,
my cabbages.
my cabbages.
Oh, one thing I also wanted to mention too, something that I brought up during the movie. So during the graduation scene, there's I guess one of the, I don't know if he's a general or some kind of commanding, like high-ranking commanding officer or whatever, where he goes, "Oh, where's Maverick?" And I'm like, I recognize that face.
I know who it is.
It's Adrian Pasdar. Pasdar. I don't know how you pronounce it. This is actually his first movie role, and he had that one scene. But people might know him more, know him better today as Nathan Petrelli
Charlie
Mhm.
from Heroes.
from Heroes, or that one guy from
Agents of
of
S.H.I.E.L.D..
Shield.
Yep.
The
I
one guy.
forget his name.
The one
The one
agent
guy.
from Agents of Shield.
But
yeah.
I noticed it right away. Hey, look, that's
yeah. I
the guy
remember
from
you
He
looked
looks
it
the
up. and,
same.
showed me.
Yeah, he's like Adrian Pasdar. Holy crap, he's young, but not young looking. Yeah. So fun fact. I looked this up before we wrap this up. If you actually are privileged to go to Top Gun flight school as a naval aviator, if you quote that movie at any point in time, you were imposed a fine. Like
Oh
you
my
yourself,
God.
you have to pay money for quoting that movie. That reminds me of that
Nice.
scene in Community where they go to the pottery class and they're like, I swear to God, if you reenact
No
Ghost,
ghosting.
no ghosting, if you reenact Ghost, or if I swear to God, hear any note of that Righteous Brothers song, I will fail you.
So you can't play the Need for Speed.
no
or
danger zone.
No danger
You can't
zone.
say that you have a need for speed.
No. Take
no.
my breath away.
No Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
Okay. Good to know, just in case.
You
we
big
decide.
stud,
Yeah.
take me to bed or lose me forever. None of that. You
No, I'm
cannot
not gonna
quote the movie
join.
at
I'm
all.
not gonna join the Navy.
So you can't have Maverick or Iceman as a call sign. I'm assuming.
No, I had a friend once who was in the Navy. Recently, he told me that call signs were actually like they're not as cool as they were in Top Gun.
Hmm.
They're actually like
They probably give you like
Kinda like-
Froggy or
Well,
something.
yeah,
I mean-
like dumb quote, like dumb name versions of them. Yeah,
Well, I mean, from what I know, from
like Squints, like because the guy was Chinese. What? Like yeah, like that kind of.
Oh,
stuff. Yeah.
not because of the Sandlot.
Not because of the
Oh,
Sandlot.
man.
Yeah, like
'Cause
stupid
when
stuff.
I
like
hear
that.
Squints, I'm like, oh, that kid's awesome.
Yeah, crosshairs. Why is it crosshair? Because he's cross-eyed. What? That's no, I'm kidding. Not like that. It's not that bad, but like it's little like they were more like inside jokes rather than like
Yeah.
cool ass call signs.
yeah, because to me in aviation, a call sign is like letters and
Mhm.
numbers. That's it.
Correct. Yeah.
And you say them in like in what's it called, alpha
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
NATO phonetic alphabet.
The phonetic alphabet.
Yeah, the NATO phonetic alphabet.
So it's not like a nickname like Maverick or Goose. It's something like
yeah.
like
Alpha.
Alpha Tango.
Yeah. Alpha
Golf.
Bravo Charlie Delta Foxtrot.
And then like
I'll go-
9 or
I'm not gonna go
2 5 whatever.
yeah. Yeah. You have to do the whole thing. You're
Yeah.
correct. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
But is that what your Navy buddy says?
Yeah. Yeah. He
Like,
told me
it's
about that.
strictly
Like,
just that like whatever like
yeah, but they had
letter
nicknames.
number.
Yeah, you could have nicknames that you would still post on your actual flight, your vehicle, your aircraft. So that's why you have like the cool names, like you go to the MCU, it's like Carol Danvers was Avenger. You're just like, was she though? They would call her Brat because she was a scrappy little brat the whole time. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, guys. So cultural hallmark and classic in the books for you too. Thank you so much. With that, we're gonna call that for now. Hopefully, like Anthony said, we'll get the review for Top Gun Maverick. We'll get to watch it in the format that it should be, truly experience in IMAX. That's gonna be exciting. We're looking forward to that.
Maybe 4DX.
Maybe 40X as well. Yeah, all the seats rumbling. I think we'll probably go upside down.
With wind in the hair, the whole movie probably.
Yeah, probably. It's just always in. Well,
Some
no,
smoke, maybe?
no, I don't think
Yeah.
wind. Because remember, when
do
you're
have
flying, why would you have wind in your hair if you're flying in a cockpit?
Why not?
But it's 4DX. I'm sure they'll come up with any reason to
Just
to
throw
blow
wind in your
face. Yeah,
Ridiculous.
Have, like,
they'll just say
have
like, "Oh, you're in
giant-
an air wind."
have those giant like those giant fans, industrial fans that could blow like 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh,
That'd be awesome.
when he's riding the motorcycle, that's
Oh, we
wind.
could do that
Right.
one.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that makes
wind.
sense.
Or when they're playing volleyball, obviously.
And then we
No,
get-
they're
we
playing
get sand.
football apparently in Maverick. It looks like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
playing football.
Oh, okay, because I was
Football
kind
or
of hoping
rugby,
to
or
have
who's-
sand thrown on me, but
Yeah, will they just throw sand on us? Let's
and like
see what's
salty water.
Maybe.
up. Uh oh.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe it's fresh water. I don't know.
I think a hand pops up, so you could give it a high five. I think that's what will happen.
High five.
Is there sun? Because you need some sunglasses.
I'm bringing my
There'll
sunglasses.
probably be flashes, like light flashes and smoke.
I'll bring my sunglasses, hands down.
Bring my
Fun.
aviators, yeah.
Yeah, same. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Thank you, and happy flying, and get that Need for Speed. At least until the end of the month, because Top Gun leaves Netflix. That's where you can watch it at the end of May.
Yep.
So check it out, guys. ASAP. Thank you so much.
Laters.
See you later. Bye, guys.
Take my breath away.